Who says you can't have burgers for the holidays? This is not my skin color. I guess 90% of the country would say that, but we use the electoral college system, so my delegates outweigh your popular votes. Today on Poor Choices, we're making smoked truffle burgers with mushrooms and Swiss cheese, crispy prosciutto and garlic aioli, and seared at the very end to form a delicious crust bursting with flavor. And if elected into your holiday stable of recipes, I'll ensure everyone gets a free medical exam from my new Secretary of Health. Starting out, let's get the star of the show prepped, our beef patties. In a mixing bowl, we're gonna add 2 pounds of ground beef. Now we wanna keep these burgers juicy, so we wanna use an 80-20 fat blend. Perfect for flavor and moisture. Gently sprinkle in 2 teaspoons of truffle salt and 2 teaspoons of freshly cracked black pepper. And then we're gonna mix everything gently, being careful not to overwork the beef because we want these patties to be tender, not tough. Now just simply divide the beef into 4 equal portions, giving us half-pound patties. Yes, these are some big-ass burgers. Take each portion and gently form into a patty, and if you want to be specifics, maybe about a 3/4 of an inch thick. And then also, if you want to, you can press a small dimple into the center of each patty with your thumb, and this is just going to help keep the burgers flat as they cook instead of puffing up in the middle. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. And then we'll take these patties and pop them into the freezer just for a little bit to firm up so they don't fall apart on us during the smoking process. I'd say no longer than 30 minutes, which is enough time to get our grill preheated up to 225 degrees. Next, let's whip up a garlic aioli, and this is the poor man's version. So in a small bowl, we're gonna add half a cup of mayonnaise, 1 mashed roasted garlic clove, or in my case, a tablespoon of roasted garlic paste, because I realize my roasted garlic cloves have gone bad, and just half a teaspoon of lemon juice. And then we're gonna mix all that together until smooth and pop it in the fridge to chill. And this aioli is going to add a creamy garlicky flavor that pairs perfectly with the truffle and Swiss. And as I always say, anything that is mayo based will definitely benefit from some time in the refrigerator, so definitely pop it in there. Now let's get some of our toppings ready. We're going to start by slicing 1 cup of mushrooms nice and thin, or you can buy them pre-sliced. We're going to heat a skillet over medium heat and add in a drizzle of truffle oil, about 1 to 2 teaspoons. And we're just going to saute the mushrooms until they're golden brown and tender, about 5 minutes or so. And don't be afraid to hit them with a little bit of salt while they're sauteing. Set these aside, and these are going to add an earthy depth to our burger that is going to be delicious. After that, we've got the prosciutto, and this is pretty simple. We're just going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to lay out 4 to 8 slices of prosciutto in a single layer on a parchment lined baking sheet. And then we're just gonna pop them in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. We want them crispy and slightly golden. Now, I say 10 to 12 minutes. This also kind of depends on the thickness of it. It could be as short as 6 minutes. Think of this like bacon in the sense of like, if you let it go too far, it's over. Once they're done, we're gonna set them aside to cool, and these crispy slices are gonna bring a salty, savory crunch to every bite. Now that we've got our toppings prepped, let's get back to the burgers. We're gonna pop them out of the freezer, and I wanna hit them with this Jacobson black garlic salt just for some extra flavor, as well as some fresh cracked black pepper. I was toying with the idea of going with like a steak seasoning, but I kind of wanted to do something a little bit more simpler. And so with this black garlic salt, we get the salt and the garlic flavor. And of course, no one is ever mad at freshly cracked black pepper. And make sure you hit both sides of those patties and just give them a nice patting in, and then we're all set to go, because guess what? Our grill is preheated. So I'm popping these on my Traeger Timberline today. It's set to 225, and once the grill is up to temp, we're gonna place the patties on the grill, spacing them out so the smoke can circulate evenly, and we're smoking these low and slow, letting that wood smoke infuse the beef with lots of flavor. And we're gonna smoke these patties for about 60 to 90 minutes, aiming for an internal temperature of 125 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit for medium rare. And I say 60 to 90 minutes because you don't have to use a Traeger. You can use any type of smoker or grill. Just make sure it's set up for indirect. Keep it at 225. Get some wood chunks on there. This was like a blend of like pecan and apple, I think. And then just let that bad boy go. I used my ThermoWorks thermometer just to check the temperature and make sure it was good to go. And just because we took these off at medium rare doesn't mean we're going to necessarily serve these at medium rare. We're still going to sear these on a nice cast iron skillet. So taking them off at 125 to 130 allows us to have some room once we're searing it for it to heat up a little bit more. Ideally, we're aiming for medium when we finish this. And once your burgers have reached that perfect internal temperature, we're gonna take them off the grill and let them rest under a loose tint of foil. And while they're resting, let's heat up a cast iron skillet on medium-high heat. And we're gonna finish these burgers with a quick sear in Wagyu Beef Tallow. It's gonna add some amazing flavor to this. But if you don't have Wagyu Beef Tallow, you can absolutely just use like a high heat oil like grapeseed. But this flavorful fat is gonna help us create a delicious and caramelized crust on these burgers. Think of this like a smash burger without us actually having to do a lot of smashing. And I am going to apply a little bit of pressure onto these burgers when they first hit the skillet, but we don't have to go full on Hulk on this thing. Before we sear our burgers, let's toast our buns. We're just going to drop a small dab of Wagyu tallow in the cast iron skillet. We're going to place some brioche buns cut side down and toast them until they're golden and crispy, which will be about a minute or two, and then we'll just set those aside. Now for the final final sear. Again, we're gonna add 1 to 2 tablespoons of Wagyu Beef Tallow to the hot skillet. And once it's melted and shimmering, we're gonna add the patties and we're gonna sear each side for about 1 to 2 minutes, just long enough to form a golden crust. And in that last minute, we're gonna place a slice of Swiss cheese on each patty to melt. And I couldn't find my lid, so I just used a piece of tin foil, but essentially what I wanna do is trap some of this steam in here so this cheese melts even faster. And that melted cheese combined with the smoky crust and Wagyu flavor is going to be incredible. And now we just assemble our burgers. With everything ready, we're gonna spread a thin layer of garlic aioli on the bottom bun, then a handful of fresh spinach or arugula for a peppery bite. Then we're gonna place that juicy cheese top patty right on top, add a spoonful of those truffle oil sauteed mushrooms for a rich earthy note, lay 2 crispy slices of prosciutto over the mushrooms, and we're gonna finish with another layer of aioli on the top bun and crown your burger masterpiece. And there you have it, the ultimate truffle Swiss burger with crispy prosciutto. You've got the smoky juicy burger with the creamy Swiss cheese, the earthy mushrooms, and the crispy salty prosciutto, all brought together with that garlicky aioli. Oh, and some truffle fries would be great to go along with this, but trust me, a half-pound burger is gonna be really, really filling. So enjoy this. Hey everybody, this is Poor Choices Kitchen. We have a Patreon, it's linked down in the description. $1 a month is all we ask for to pay for recipes in these here inflated times. And we also have YouTube memberships, that's $2.99, because YouTube likes to take their cut. Those funny little pimps. And that also pays for recipes here in these inflated times, both go a long way in helping pay for the recipes for this channel and just supporting us and all the things we need like paper towels, cleaning supplies, plates, and all those needs. And as for a poor choice, some white wine would go perfectly with this. So enjoy this recipe, and until next time, I'll see you all later. Peace.